Hey, JustMaD here, and the team patches that were first leaked in an update from February of 2020 were finally released with the Stockholm Major. And I have to say, overall, Valve really messed up with patches. Before we can talk about patches themselves, we have to talk a little bit about agents, because they are interconnected. The huge problem with agents, at least at launch, were that they were simply broken. In an ultra-competitive game where milliseconds are the difference between getting a kill and getting destroyed, visibility is incredibly important. So what do Valve do with agents? They make them almost invisible in some cases. Naturally, that caused a huge pushback from the community, and agents still haven't gotten rid of that reputation. Even worse than that, for an item to increase in price, you need either an increase in demand or a decrease in supply. Now, except for hypes, usually the demand for most CSGO items stays relatively stable, so they increase in price by decreasing in supply. That is through processes like trade-ups for skins, being applied for stickers, and being opened for cases and capsules. But agents do not have any of that. The only way that agents are removed from circulation is through VAC bans and people abandoning their CSGO accounts, and this is just not enough for now to drive any sort of real price changes. On top of there only being a tiny decrease in supply, the original supply that was dropped with Operation Shattered Web was way too high. As a reminder, you got a total of 4 agents for every 100 stars bought or grinded during Shattered Web. Valve has stated in their blog post for the end of Shattered Web that over 136 million missions were completed, so that would be 4.5 million agents in existence minimum, and that doesn't even cover the ones that were dropped when people bought stars, which we know was also a huge amount. Now for patches. Patches are even worse because they're tied to the success of agents. If no one wants agents, then absolutely no one would want patches. Their potential for investing was also completely ruined right from the start by Valve, because they released the first patches in a patch pack that is available for a fixed price in the in-game store. So their supply is basically unlimited, and there's a ceiling on the price they can reach, so absolutely useless for investing. The next patches were the Half-Life Alyx patches, which were also completely useless for investing, and only then did we get the Metal Skill Group patches in Operation Broken Fang, the first patches that had a limited supply. But the fact that they were the third set of patches at that point meant that they were also not the best investments. And this continues with the team patches. All the hype that could have been for patches is just absolutely gone. So what's the solution then? Well, for agents to be a viable investment, first there needs to be a way to reduce their supply. I mentioned trade-ups before, but this doesn't seem like the best solution, since based on current prices, there wouldn't even be one profitable outcome from trade-ups, assuming a trade-up system with 10 inputs giving 1 output from the rarity above. One thing that could help the agents are the Stockholm team patches, since they can only be applied onto agents, not the default player models. So if the team patches get any sort of hype, which they don't seem to be having right now, they would drive some more demand for agents. But do Valve even want agents and patches to be good investments? I don't think so. I think that Valve might want them to be easily accessible for everyone, but that's just speculation. Patches do seem like they have more potential though, mostly because they could get ignored by investors. If the final supply of them at the end of the major is low enough because not many of them have been bought, they could end up being good investments, if we get some kind of general change of opinion in the community, which could very well happen. When gloves were first released, a lot of people thought that they were useless and ugly, and look at them now. On top of that, they don't have the problem that the agents have with supply, because they do have a mechanism by which it can decrease. When the patches get applied, they are removed from circulation forever. So now let's get a little more specific and talk about the Stockholm team patches. Are they good looking? We don't know what other designs would look like, but I'd say yes, they're not bad. And how's the demand for them? Well, right now, horrible. The cheapest patches go all the way down to 18 cents and are being sold around 5 times per hour, which means that I really wouldn't be surprised if they drop down to single-digit cents when the sale hits. The most popular golds seem to be going for around 6 euros and selling once every 2 hours. So yeah, that's not looking great. So would I invest in them? Again, you're probably tired of hearing me say this, but not right now. There's most probably going to be a sale around the final, and we'll know a bit more about the amount of them that exist. An investment that goes hand in hand with the patches is the agents. If you believe that the community's opinion on patches and agents could change, it could be a good idea to pick some up. But again, right now, I'm not seeing any demand there. And now let's get into Guess the Game. The winner of last video is Atlas, yet again, who strengthens his lead. If you want to join them, comment the 2 teams that played in the background. Thanks for watching.